Hi, hello, and welcome everyone to the season 2 of the Join John series. I'm John Vincent, co-founder of NicheBrains and the host for this session. Just a quick brief about NicheBrains. NicheBrains is a modern consulting platform that helps MSMEs to accelerate their growth and transformation by connecting them to curated industry experts. And on the other side, NicheBrains provides unlimited range of consistent business opportunities to freelance industry experts who are looking to realize their full potential. And that's how we connect both the MSMEs and the experts. So in this second season, I'm joined by some of the top industry experts to discuss on the empowerment of freelance consultants through different tools, insights, and opportunities. In this session, I'm very happy to have Lakshmi, the co-founder and CEO of NicheBrains. Lakshmi needs no introduction. He's a veteran entrepreneur with a penchant for customer success. He's an INSEAD alumnus and is an accomplished digital transformation consultant and coach at INSEAD. And he has having coached more than 300 global industry experts. Welcome to today's interaction, Lakshmi. Great to have you with us today.
My pleasure, John. Glad to be back.
Wonderful. So Lakshmi, today we have a very interesting topic, right? Building an unparalleled personal brand that distinguish one from his peers. So before I actually go in further, I'm just going to throw some stats here, Lakshmi. So what Forbes says is freelancers are projected to make more than 80% of the workforce by 2030. And the global freelance market is projected to reach close to 540 billion by 2025. But if you see in reality, only 40% of the experts are engaged. So just to set the context for a discussion, can you share what is a brand and why is it so important right now?
Excellent. Thanks for the question. To start off and set the context, John. I'll start off with the question back to you, and also possibly the participant also can type in what they think about it. I wanted to think about a recent occasion. So where when you deliberately choose a product or a service, not where you did not really mind the price about it, though it's kind of only for the brand. Now it can be a cloth, it can be a phone, or it can be a car or anything. So was there anything that you recently had to had gone for this kind of an purchase?
My immediate thing that breaks me is I've never switched. I probably changed across multiple iPhones, but I've always only switched to the newer version, but I never moved away from my phone. I'm just probably, that's one brand which has stuck to me. That's what I would say.
Excellent. So while our participant basically type in what they think about this, see here the key idea is that people prefer brands either because they want certain qualities in conditions of uncertainty. That's also the reason you don't want to switch from iPhone, or even if there's other phones which can serve the purpose, or because that tells something about themselves, like the status quo, like wearing a jewelry from in a marriage is like considered as a status quo. Like these things, a brand basically talks about themselves. Like also, let's just take an example of a skincare product, like a brand promise of Nivea. So possibly one can say she uses Nivea instead of other products by another cosmetic company because it gives them a gentle skin and a beauty care, because Nivea attaches great value to kind of a gentle ingredients and also a decades of experience of preparing them. So
Right.
It's also about a brand is how others perceive the experience they have when they consume this product. Okay, that's what is the brand is all about. And it's a kind of a it occupies your both rational and emotional mind, and then have a kind of you are able to think and then feel about that product in each time when you use it. And typically kind of, if I have to really expand my thought about brand, it creates value in basically a kind of a four different ways. One is basically it gives a promise or a guarantee. So it tells the existing customers and potential customer what they can expect rather than assume, and then delivers it. Like for example, Mercedes basically promises prestige, or BMW is about engineering, Volvo is about safety, Porsche about sportiness, if we talk about cars. Similarly, we have other brands as well. And second part is the brand is also gives a signal. I mean, where to have so many noise with so many options today existing, a brand basically communicate what basically how it can stand out from the crowd, whenever you are going to use it right now. And the third is that it's also basically gives kind of an affinity and image. Okay, so people basically choose the brand because they're basically it's a part of their identity. Like that's where again taking an example of yours, you
Right.
use Apple products,
Right.
Nike shoes, some kind of a perfume. These are all basically it's kind of you are kind of attached to it. And also I would say that it's also about commitment. Basically the brand, when it is committing, it deliver, and then the customers are likely to stick, rather than compared with other brands which not really exist over a period of few years. So that is also the reason why these kind of good brands, they establish themselves, they always release new products, and signifies all these four values. That's what a brand is all about.
Yeah, fantastic points, Lakshmi. So if we extend it a little bit to the experts, why is it important from an independent expert's point of view, this branding?
All right, a great question. Again, I think we are getting into the segue, nice segue of independent expert. That's what our focus area is. I would say, again, I would start off with the question. This is also something because it's very easy to compare rather than giving a very theoretical answer to it. I'm sure name any actor or actress whose movie you will see because they acted on it. I know the answer, but still I would like to ask this question, John.
Obviously, I come from the south of Tamil Nadu, so obviously I will talk about brand Rajini only, nobody else.
so this is because when you know that when you choose to spend the time by going to the movie theater, you get that experience. You know that when, irrespective of what the story is or what it is, he stands as a brand, and your investment of time and money is not gone wasted. Similarly, to me, I would say an independent consultant is all about having the client to have a great experience, and that can only be felt after you consume it. Okay, so especially it is important because these are all independent consulting as an industry is all about experiencing, and one will not know the true value of it, and possibly they would have also paid it till they before they experience it as. And it also is about building that reputation. Okay, this is also another thing which is important, where the clients need to believe the person whom they are working with. So the case for a personal brand is very compelling for a freelancer because it's an experience delivered under conditions of high uncertainty, where things are not proven, where the value is not realized unless it is delivered. So it's also imperative that to build such kind of belief system and become a good trusted advisor to the client, it's important to establish a brand. And also a strong kind of a brand builds a kind of a credibility which basically help them to pre-qualify themselves. So you are not really running behind making a cold call or doing a countless number of mails, but when you are able to establish yourself as a person who can provide what they promise, and which also you are able to make the customer believe through your brand, which basically you don't have to run behind it, rather the client will basically, you attract the business rather than you going behind it. And also for the client, it's all about you become a trusted advisor, so they can work not just one time but also kind of make it every time, and they treat it as an investment, not as an expense. So it's just about giving that kind of the kind of a way where they are able to see it, and it's about that experience and then the personal connect, and just not just doing a kind of delivering or completing a task. And that's the reason, before an independent consultant gets into it, establishing himself as a brand plays a vital role in terms of opening the new opportunities for them, John.
I think very interesting perspective, Lakshmi. You pointed out, you spoke about the trusted advisor. That's basically an investment rather than as you consider it as an expense. And I think some seriously valid perspectives that you put here, Lakshmi. So when I look at it in the bigger picture, right? So what would be what should your personal brand achieve for you? I understand that we've talked about the branding was general, but what should we look out for, and why should it personal brand achieve in general for us, Lakshmi?
Excellent. I think, see, personal branding is not about packaging yours to sell yourself. It should help you to achieve the focus differentiation, recall value, and also set expectation. Let me just a little bit elaborate on what I mean by each of these. Actually speaking, the focus is about making sure that you are in front of the clients or the target people who matter to you and who subscribe to what you tell. And that should also provide you an opportunity to which customers or which doors you need to open and which doors you need to basically get out of it as well. The second one is differentiation. Is all about it's a noisy word, it's a well connected one, and how you can distinctively make the memory of yourself in front of the customer. So when in need, he's able to recall and then connect with you. That is the second part of it, actually speaking. And the third is all about what whenever it's about if you're going to a conference, it's all about think about we meet a lot of people. It's not about when you come out, it's not about you come back with a bunch of cards and then say that, hey, I met this guy and stuff like that. But then how he's able to recall this person can create a value for my business in XYZ way. There is a clarity that exists. So that is what is important. The third element, which basically a personal branding can have. And finally, it sets expectation as to what is the outcome that can be expecting by whenever we enter. Is it worth spending? What kind of, if I'm going to spend, let's say, next 1 month with this person through an engagement, what can I expect? And predictability. So how he will approach. So these are the things that one can achieve, help in terms of achieving through a personal brand. And see any influencers we see, I mean, from the big names from Steve Jobs or Richard Branson to any influencers we see today, be it in Insta or thing, they all follow this. And it's also, I would say it's a good time. I would say that, easily one can evaluate where do they stand, irrespective of whether you are just starting a freelance consultant or you have established yourself as a very well acknowledged expert. It will always be good to evaluate a personal brand. Yeah. I would put this possibly, maybe we can also share this post conversation through a mail, how they can evaluate. But just to give, there are about 6 elements one can think about. They are, I would say, that evaluating based on identity. So if you were to summarize yourself as an expert, are you able to summarize it in a simple kind of one or two statement? Second is about position. Does this brand communicate about his strength, expertise, and experience area? And does it help these potential clients to pre-qualify themselves? The third is about promise. So is it possible easily to grasp what this consultant is promising, what can expect, what kind of an experience, and what is his cadence to work with? So that's the third part of it. And fourth is about distinctiveness or differentiation. You might have 10 different consultants. Can he know how he stands out, how he is findable, and what is it about that unique, the way he's offering the value to his customer? And about fifth is about credibility. Is there evidence like the past track record? It's not about, again, I would talk about it. It's not about his CV or his work experience. It's about actual value creation and how both in terms of quantity and quality, has he done similar type of work, and there is evidence for it. And finally, is there a focus in his brand? Is there a coherent, consistent set of themes, or is this kind of he's kind of there everywhere? So if you are a supply chain expert, I would rather see that one can think about what where he can create value in terms of cost optimization or new technology and how the supply chain evolve. But when somebody is talking about a supply chain expert, if he's also talking about marketing, he cannot mix these two brands. Possibly he can be good in both, but he needs to find a way to establish a kind of a theme which is coherent, consistent setup. So these 6 points one can evaluate, one can revisit their kind of a portfolio and see if they are able to see where they are in their profile. They would be able to easily kind of see and evaluate and then take to the next level. John.
Fantastic, Lakshmi. So I think you talked about 6 key aspects. Just noted down them. You talked about identity, you talked about position, you talked about promise, you talked about distinctiveness, and you talked about credibility, and also you talked about focus. I think that's a important scorecard that everybody really needs to look at. So now that where we stand, and how we can enhance our personal brand. So, this is now we clear. Now, where exactly, and, we have to start, and what are the factors that need to be considered when we are looking at our personal brand, Lakshmi? How do we go?
Excellent. Excellent. That's. I mean, this is where I would say that the important part one needs to find. I'm going to also invite my colleague once I just talk about few points here. So, but to start off where I left, John, I would start with the focus. See, focus requires authenticity. It's like you must claim your voice and present an authentic version of yourself. And that is where the brand and that is where the truth comes in. And when you start doing what you like, and that's where your authentic value creation potential comes in. And it also involves about being aware of your talents, like the ability to see whether am I able to find my signature strength, and what is that I enjoy doing, work with, and what kind of situation where one can thrive. And those are some of the things that that can either understanding and then putting in a kind of a very simple write-up. You just don't need like kind of excellent writing skills for it, but just reflecting on this key things which I can which I'm saying, it can help the experts to talk about themselves from few minutes to few hours. I'll also just talk about that what are the things, but before that it's also important to understand, especially of course majority of the culture it happens, but especially in India, we are basically the way we are grown up, we are really shy to talk about ourselves and shy to talk about our achievements. Now when it comes to freelance experts, it's all about value creation potential and how they are able to create. Now the challenge is always how do we move from it. So one thing we need to be mindful about it is that if you're shy and if you're not communicating what you can do about it, if you're not going to talk about, feel about, think about, good about yourself, who else can do it? So the first person must be you to start with, and then the whole world can follow it. So building on this kind of a belief, I would again put this kind of an way to think about the elements that can help in terms of the how part of building the brand. One is to have like kind of identity. So think about what is the area in which a leading authority can become a valued resource, not just a vendor. So right. That's where the value creation is. That's the first step. There is one is identity. To think about that, put it in writing. The second one is mission. See, every company has a mission. You're creating a value for your target customer. You're building the brand here is you. You're building your own business. So you have a mission for yourself and your customers. So why do you do what you do? That's basically important. And how you are going to do it, that's a mission part of it. And then how you help the customer. So how you help or what you help others do, address the challenges and our opportunity. That's the third part to focus on. And unique selling proposition, or how are you going to create value or the value added between before and after. Things like use cases or case studies can be of great value here, and the outcomes that you help your customers to achieve. And finally, what are the different capability? Here is where the industry expertise, what are the different expertise, the industry area that you have worked on, what are the distinctive skills that you bring in, both soft and hard. Because I would say an independent expert is a whole person, not just his CV. That's one of the important thing we both believe, and then we address that as well. And finally, it's about persona. See, at the end of the day, the brand also need to communicate not just his consulting process, but also who's him as a person, his passion, his hobbies. It also kind of need to capture that and then put that together. So these are some of the things once we started jotting down and then create kind of a picture about it, and you're in a way to start creating your own brand. And at this point of time, I also want to invite my good friend and my colleague Uma to also add, because this is in fact today morning, I was having a conversation with him when we were talking about it all. He had some great points. Then I thought that instead of me talking about it, I thought I will let my colleague Uma to contribute to this conversation as well. So Uma, I would like you to pitch in here and then share your thoughts on how to go about it apart from what I said, Uma. It'll be great.
Well, thank you so much, Lakshmi. I'm truly honored, and honestly, I mean, the way the conversation is heading, it's very empowering, and I'm very happy that I'm also able to contribute something to this. So, I mean, starting from where you actually left, right? The personality part of it, the authenticity part of it. So, picking on a few things that you already said, I would love to talk about a few things which are actionable, which are doable. Beginning with the personality part of it, I sincerely believe that every brand has a brand story. It should have a brand story which is authentic and which can connect to the audience, to your clients, to your customers, which has an emotional tone to it. So I think for every independent consultant, it is very important to begin with their authentic journey, because people love to connect with people. They every behind every LinkedIn profile there is a human being. And if we as independent consultants, freelance consultants, if we are able to bring that, pour that personality into our profiles, that is I think the first, the most important step. And talking about the unique selling proposition, uh, all of us, when we are creating a brand, we should be able to have a consistent, unique value proposition. So uh, yeah, like you were mentioning, you don't need really great writing skills for this. It's very simple.
Yeah.
What X value, what X skills do you have, and the what is the Y niche that you work for, and what is the Z result that you've brought in for your clients. If you're able to communicate this as a freelance consultant, I think you're already on the winning track. So, and again, I can't stress enough on the fact that consistency is the king. It can be LinkedIn, it can be your website, it can be your portfolio. Everywhere, if you're able to consistently communicate your unique value proposition, I think that itself creates a brand under your name. And moving on, again, uh, the thought leadership. If establishing a thought leadership is one of the crucial aspects of building a brand, like you're mentioning, that can be a use case, that can be a case study. And through blogs, videos, and social media posts, if a freelance consultant establishes a thought leadership. And thought leadership is also towards collaboration. It is also towards knowledge sharing. It is also towards thinking out of the box. So if your thought leadership contains all of this, that brings that stamps your authority in your niche, and that creates a brand which is credible, which is informative, which is also very relatable to people. If you are talking about a use case in a particular industry, it can be supply chain, it can be digital marketing. People, the clients, the customers will understand that you have the relevant knowledge, you have the relevant skills, and you have already developed a relevant use case which connects to their business challenges, which connects to their day-to-day business activities. And finally, what I believe is that social media is not just for uh, our usual activities, usual updates. Social media can be a great tool in the arsenal of personal branding. Not just the posts, not just the blogs, videos that you post, but every activity, every like, every comment, and every share that you do speaks volumes about yourself. People will know that this is what he stands for, this is what he believes in. So I think that is one area that which I sincerely feel is underlooked. So social media can be leveraged to uplift the personal branding of a freelance consultant. So these are a few points: unique value proposition, a brand story, thought leadership, establishing the thought leadership, and leveraging the full potential of social media can be great tools in actually building your personal branding, is what I feel, Lakshmi.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Uma. John, please.
Yeah, I think this was something of thoughts that Like Uma has put, in fact, the different forms, the context, different choices that you can make independent consultants. Obviously he raised the point about social media, how social media plays a very, very key role with respect to, projecting your brand. So along in that line, what happened is in Niche Prints also, we have also come up with a concept, called as a portfolio. I can post this as well, share what exactly is a portfolio. But just to give you a very high level, right? So in today's thing, what happens is, as Lakshmi, also you had also mentioned, right? So the first thing is that you're not your CV, right? If you go into probably a LinkedIn, pretty much the content about you is static. You pretty much have everything about you stacked up in one single place. But that's not how you project to a customer, right? It probably shows some of your skill sets, your jobs, all of that together in a single place. But it truly does not reflect your facilitated ability to demonstrate your skills depending on the project. Say, for example, an expert could be having multiple skills. He could be probably a business. He could be a marketing expert. He could probably be even a supply chain expert. He could have multi-facet. So, but in that case, what happens is, and he's capable to handle. And in today's world, wherein the attention span from customers is like 4 to 5 seconds, in that, if they have to go and search through things, there's multiple things in a static profile. That's where what happens is we say that, build a profile, a portfolio specific to your core, value that you can deliver to a customer. So, for supply chain, that could be a specific value that you can deliver to a customer. For digital marketing, that could be a specific value that you can deliver to a customer. So that could be multiple, portfolios that you could have. It's like creating yourself like an avatar. So that's what we have basically created, like a portfolio card in Niche Prints itself. So wherein customer, experts can, to create multiple profiles with multiple projects that they have executed for that particular portfolio. So in that way, what happens is very clear to the customer when such a portfolio card is put as to what value and benefit he's going to get out of that expert. So I think, it's a pretty valid point, and we are also trying to make that happen for our experts here, Lakshmi. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Thanks, John, for that. In fact, it also brings us, I think some of the parts Uma has addressed, and also John, you also touched upon. See, we talked about the importance of the brand. We talked about what the brand can help you achieve it. We also talk about evaluating the current situation as to individually how they can go about it, and we touched upon how they can start creating a brand. Now, what happens is that once you have the foundation, it's not a one-time event, actually speaking.
Right.
Now, raising that visibility, the brand has to be enhanced, and also more you get a visibility, and it also builds this kind of I would say that effectiveness. So I would say that as a kind of a parting thoughts on this particular topic, how one can think about raising the brand visibility. So one definitely is that only thinking about one specific channel is a strict no-no, because what happens is that today, with an advent of many things are available, having a profile alone in a LinkedIn is necessary but not sufficient, I would say that. So maybe that can be a foundation today, but that's not sufficient, because before LinkedIn itself also there is a brand which were existing. So what we need to be thinking about it is that based on your target customers, based on the consultant's target customers, where they are present, that is one of the things. So once you know that this is what my brand stands for and this is the groundwork you've done, you need to assess. Maybe they could be present not just in LinkedIn, they also possibly present in other content channel where they consume information. So you going to the customers that where they are present is one of the things which is important. It can be a video, it can be a blog, it can be a small, I would say, a Twitter feed, or it can be a small poster, which, because today the technology is available, it can be self-taught, and then within no time one can become I would say that expert in terms of utilizing that. This is number one. And the is that doing it is that once you create the foundation, establishing the thought leadership part of it, actually speaking, and then you need to engage with your target audience. How do you engage with the target audience? There are various elements of that. See, it's like this. It's not about the, I would say, the quantity, but the quality of your communication, the quality of what you are sharing. It's not that you need to have, let's say, 10,000 or 20,000 followers in everywhere to be known as a brand. But you can, if your hit rate is about, if you're having 500 followers and then 500 people who wants to know and who are expecting something to be shared from him, that's what is your sweet spot, I would say that. And that 500 can bring in the rest of 500,000 people. So it's also about engaging with them in terms of asking them the question as well as answering questions, giving them something which they can use. And that's where that engaging and establishing the thought leadership cycle starts to happen. And also be visible in terms of your own, each industry has their own events being conducted. Today, people want to see, irrespective of the digital channels, I strongly believe that the personal connect, that's where that all the three of us have talked about humanness. There is a person behind it. And that whole person can be felt only when we are able to meet. So whenever time permits, wherever possible, and I would encourage to meet in person, because that is when we understand each other. And all these things, plus try to see if you can publish in a formal or other way of publication. So there can be journals specific to your industry or your domain. So you can see, based on your experience and based on the consultant's knowledge, one can his own research expertise, they can start publishing. So all these things. So it's not just one one initiative alone, and it's also not going to take a huge amount of efforts. Also, I would say that when you are you might end up spending a couple of hours, but that will eliminate the need for you to make X number of cold calls. So net, your time spent on identifying your new opportunities will be lesser. And that's all the place where I would say that where what we as Niche Brains, and we had so many conversations as a team, John and Uma, is that where we are trying to build this portfolio, because that is where we want to amplify our experts positioning to the customers that they matter to them. So the objective of this portfolios are, we are also creating a module like the thought leadership, which can help in terms of positioning their, their value proposition intuitively, and which can help them to create new ideas, capture their experience in the form of stories, in the form of videos, which then we can help them also to reach to the SMEs that they are looking for consultants expertise as well. So these are some thought process I have, because it's not just about I just close it. I think it's not a one-time effort. Once you know that what is the brand that you stand for, and keep improvising it, use different channels, be visible, engage your customers. That's what is the ones that can help in terms of creating and raising the brand job. So that's my concluding thoughts on this.
Fantastic, Lakshmi. Thanks a lot. Absolutely great points here. So with that, I'll just open it up for some of the audience questions as well. So if there's any questions, I'm sure Lakshmi or we can just take it up as well.
Sure.
Hi, this is Venkat.
Yeah.
Hi.
Okay. Well, Lakshmi, John, and Uma, you guys were great. I mean, very interesting thoughts and tips and tricks, or whatever you call it. I've been there in the industry for a while. I have 25 plus of experience, in years of experience. But the whole point is, the personal brand is definitely one thing. Quick thought or question, overall, it's more of a discussion.
Right.
Now, what if the customer is kind of a little adamant, or he thinks he knows everything? Now, in such a case, how would you handle a scenario? I mean, we've gone through that, but then as a quick open discussion, I thought I'll hear from you guys also.
True. I think, Venkat, you brought in a very interesting point. Unlike, this can be true, this can be false. Let's take this as a case. So my approach always would be, if the customer says that he knows, he is already known. Typically, in a transformation world, knowledge is available. See, the consumption of the same knowledge that we have an access, the customer also can have an access. that is available, and that is the one he can also say that he knows it. But where the differentiation comes in that you have 25 plus years of experience, the way you have consumed the knowledge and applied in the areas of expertise with the creative solution, that possibly is the one that the customer will not be. So this is, I would say that this is a kind of biases most of the time. Once you go through an article, or once you go for a program, you can possibly, one can claim that we know it, but it's a more like a kind of a surface knowledge where you understand. But when a customer claims that he knows it, most of the time, as a consultant in general, there is a possibility that we may think differently. Keeping that aside, I would always encourage you to acknowledge the fact. And also in a transformation consulting, I always believe that you need to work together with the customer, and for the fact that acknowledging that they know what they are doing, they know about their business, but what they possibly don't know is that to the specific problem they want to solve, they don't have internal experts. So that's why you're being called. So you're called for that delta knowledge. That's if we can go with that kind of an approach and include them as a part of a problem and solution, rather than okay, let me just, you give me the thing and then rest I will take care. Possibly that is something may not work with some clients. Some clients will say, this is my one-line problem statement, you figure it out. So I would say that it can be possibly true that the customers are well informed, well educated, and possibly they might also know it. But as a consultant, you have an expertise to find creatively a solution for his problem. So that's my approach to this kind of a challenge, Mr. Venkat.
True. Yeah, that's true, Lakshmi. I mean, we all know it. Kind of been there, done that. Not necessarily all the time, because every assignment could be totally new to you, although you'd have handled 10 or 20 of them earlier. But then, yes, what you said is absolutely true in terms of saying, yeah, take it as it comes, align with the customer, try to understand, probably gain over his confidence, and then say, yes, the problem statement is like this, what you said is like this, but we've handled a few cases earlier. With based on our experience, we can say, hey, I think we did it like this. This may or may not work in your context, but we can still try to communicate and convince in a way, saying that let's try it out, because the reason you are there is to try to solve their problem. If they had solved it, probably you wouldn't have been there in that place, right?
Very true.
So you probably have to use that expertise, right? So yeah, I mean, there are tricky situations being consultants. I've done some consulting.
No, I completely see. No, that's true, Venkat. In fact, I would also add on to what you say is also, it's also, as you rightly said, they are engaging you because they have a problem. They know, they could be knowing that they have a problem, but they need your help in terms of solutioning out. But the challenge also is that they need to start trusting you. It's like you go to a you prefer to go to a doctor based on his reputation, and that's where the moment you are able to yeah, that's right. So that's where the branding also comes into picture, the credibility. And let me also tell, as I also said, about from an Indian context, we have this kind of an unknown challenge in terms of expressing ourselves in a way they can acknowledge that you are an expert in that. So we always kind of downplay about ourselves. This is one thing which I always get to say, that if we can't talk good about ourselves, if we can't talk about our own expertise, not in a boasting way, but in a way that what we have really created value, and then communicate to the other person, that's not really, then we are not, possibly that's something which we need to really look forward. So once we are able to do that, the resistance can possibly to go down to a great extent, is what my humble thought, Mr. Venkat.
No, absolutely. I mean, these are all, it's more like a discussion that we are having, because we've had our own share of experiences all across. Now, I've consulted in the US, I've consulted in various locations. I mean, each culture is different. Like Indian culture is different. Probably we don't understand, we understand partly some of the culture. So it is all a contextually relevant approach that you need to be taking. And that moment, probably, the guy may be in a bad mood, but but you just got to handle it being a consultant. And more than the technology or the knowledge that you carry, it is handling the people out there and taking them along with you to eventually find the solution. At times you may have workarounds, you may not have, you can seek help. And as you rightly said, Lakshmi, that being humble, at times, you may not be an expert in that area. You can humbly submit saying that, hey, sorry, probably I'm not aware of this. Let me get back to you, and probably work together to find a solution, because that's what they ultimately want. Right? I think, yeah, I mean, there's no one foolproof way of approach to each and everything. Yeah.
You are right. That's the last word is important. Thanks a lot for sharing, Mr. Venkat, this perspective for sure.
Good.
Anybody else has any questions as well?
So where are you guys based? I mean, if others are not talking, let me just interact with No, it's okay. Right?
So perfectly fine. So we are based out of Hyderabad, and our office is in T-Hub. That's so yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I'm kind of close to you guys. I'm also based out of Hyderabad in Madhapur area.
Oh, very good.
Okay.
Oh, great.
And probably one of these days, if I'm passing by, I'll drop in and check out.
Sure.
Definitely.
A quick cup of coffee, and then just exchange thoughts and notes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I guess. And essentially, I have my own company called Omega VAS. We are into automation, IoT based automation, industrial building, air conditioning, energy monitoring, and all those things.
Excellent.
But my previous life has been into ERP consulting. I was a CIO myself of company group based out of Hyderabad, primarily an IT guy, but then moved into this stuff. But then, yeah, so we'll catch up over a quick coffee and then exchanging thoughts.
Oh, we'll be happy to host you.
Absolutely, Mr. Venkat. We'll be happy to host you here. So I'm sure we should meet up here.
Yeah, and then I guess we are contemporaries in a way.
Absolutely.
No, that should not matter. Yeah.
Oh, no, in fact, I would say possibly that we complement rather than contemporaries. I would say that because we take experts like your help whenever we are finding a customer's problem. So in that way, I would say we are complementing you, Mr. Venkat.
Yeah, I mean, I will also use the other word supplement, at times. Right. It may be required. We never know.
Sure.
Yeah, there can be a small gap or delta needs to be filled. Yeah, we as consultants or experts can step in and address that challenge and get over it, as quickly as it can. Yeah. Good.
Okay. So we'll connect again, Mr. Venkat. So
yeah,
sure.
Or I don't know if there's a way to share our details, as in if one of you can give me your number, maybe I'll ping and then we'll try to catch up. If this is the right forum to share, that's still okay. Otherwise,
you definitely.
I'm sure, Venkat, you can probably message in the chat here your details or your LinkedIn, anything which is there. We'll be happy. I'm sure we can quickly connect after that the call. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just doing that.
All right.
I'll just ping my number and then probably.
Sure.
Yeah, you got it there.
Great.
Thank you.
All right.
So from here on, we can try to catch up. Anyways, Vincent, I've got your mails. So
then definitely you can even reach out to me by email too.
Via that as well, we can connect.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Venkat.
Appreciate your time and all that.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. It was very interesting, though.
All right. Yeah, I'll just wrap it up then. Thanks so much, Lakshmi, once again. We had some wonderful, good interactions here. So also, I'm sure the audience had quite a lot to take back in terms of the brand building, the concepts, the various techniques that you have expressed in this. So thanks once again, everyone, for joining. This is John signing off, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Join John with another interesting topic probably. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.